This video is a little bit different than my normal kind of video. A few months ago, Sumito Media and I watched Tampopo together, and then we both made our own ramen. But we try to make our ramen as terrible as possible. So for this video, the first part will be a brief essay on Tampopo, and the second part will be where we completely disgrace the idea of ramen. I hope you all enjoy. My longtime viewers will know that I'm a bit obsessed with the back and forth between American and Japanese films, especially concerning westerns and samurai films. I even made a whole video about it. A film I didn't mention in that video, though, was Tampopo. But wait a second, you ask. Isn't Tampopo a movie about a ramen shop? Yes, it is. It's also a western. No doubt you've heard or seen spaghetti westerns, but use your noodle for a second to think of what Tampopo is. It's a ramen western. You heard me right. It's not even some far-fetched pretentious YouTube movie crap that I'm peddling either. It was marketed as a ramen western. And it makes sense. Itami infused western genre tropes into a movie about a woman learning how to cook the best ramen in town. He integrates it so well, in fact, that it just seems natural. So how is it a western? Well, let's see. A guy dressed as a cowboy stumbles into town, with a bar fight being his introduction to this new place. The man, Goro, obviously models himself after John Wayne. He and his sidekick Gun then put together a team to make Tampopo's ramen shop the best in town. While assembling the team, Goro, Gun, and Tampopo find themselves on a series of misadventures as they search for the masters in each field, kind of like how a sheriff in a western movie would form a posse. But truth be told, the only guy that gets into the posse in a truly macho western style is the interior decorator, with whom Goro engages in a long fistfight on the edge of town. The way they recruit the other members of the team more resembles slapstick comedy, with the tramp making an omelet scene being a direct homage to Charlie Chaplin. Nevertheless, they assemble an A-team with each person being a master of their niche, and they all come together to make Tampopo's ramen shop the best around. Except there's a twist to this whole story of Tampopo bettering her ramen shop. It's structured like a gang rivalry. More than anything, they want to best the other successful ramen shop in the town, and the two groups are quite hostile to each other. They even propose a ramen standoff. Then, finally at the end, Goro and Gun, obeying the tropic knights-errant storytelling of westerns and samurai films, get back into their metaphorical horse, this being a semi-truck, and head to another city, another adventure. But the western structure and tropes only really exist in the main story, but there are plenty of other stories at play here. Itami scatters short stories and side plots throughout the film, the most notable side plot following a Yakuza gangster and his girlfriend. These scenes that seemingly have nothing to do with the main plot stand out on their own, with some of these scenes being the most memorable scenes in the film. But why would Itami include all these short stories that don't contribute to the plot? Isn't that bad writing? In this case, it isn't. Each diversion further develops one of the core themes of the movie, that food is present and important in every aspect of our lives. He tracks food's importance from conception to death, how food can change our emotions, make us fall in love, how we can obsess over finding a food that is perfect, the sensuality of food, how food can challenge authority and preconceived notions of etiquette, how food is communal, or the fact that for food to exist and to give us life, that it needs to die. Whenever you eat a meal, something had to be sacrificed beforehand so that you can eat. His observations elevate food to a spiritual level. Watching Tampopo is like walking through an art gallery where every piece is a different dish. The film is Itami celebrating food in all of its different facets, as an art, heritage, culture, nostalgia, sustenance, livelihood, and more. It's perhaps the most Epicurean movie ever made. And now that you have an appetite, it's time to lose it by looking at our ramen.
Alright, step one, we're going to boil some water. Step two is to get yourself your ramen of choice. For me, it's any packet that claims to be unbelievably spicy. As a bachelor and as a memer, the go-to protein for such a dish is, of course, frozen chicken tendies. I prefer Perdue. You can prefer actual chicken, is probably the smart thing to do, but we're going to go with what is, like, it feels like I'm doing this as a joke, as like a haha, I'm a guy on the internet and I eat chicken tendies and ramen. This is legitimately my dinner like 4 nights a week. Alright, once your water is give or take boiling, take your ramen noodles. I've removed both the spice packet and the hot chili oil that's in it. We won't be using the spice packet because we're not really making soup. The noodles I have broken horizontally and vertically so that it makes 4 segments, which makes it a little bit easier to eat. And just dump it into the boiling water, which is probably easier to do when you're not also holding your phone as a camera. Now, this particular brand, really any of the brands that make the spicy noodle challenge style ramen, use really thick freaking noodles, which is great for soaking up sauce. So, you know, if you wanted to throw in some QP mayo, some sriracha, some ketchup, whatever it is that you do for like a normal thing of noodles, this is the superior ramen for that. So we will just drain the water out of this guy. Oh, sorry. This is now the correct time for you to take your chicken tendies, whatever desired amount you have, and put them into your microwave and or oven if you have a culinary degree. I think it's 1:30 on each side. That's probably right. All right, final steps of assembly. Once you have your ramen out and drained, grab yourself the hot chili oil. I will reiterate that one package of this is quite literally the equivalent of doing the spicy noodle challenge. This is the same packet of ramen that you see all over YouTube, so I recommend not using anywhere near as much as one whole packet. I'm gonna put a little bit extra than what I normally do just because I'm going to be dumping in some fixins. I'm going to save you the trouble of watching me cut apart 6 chicken tenders using nothing but a butter knife and a spatula. You want to take these guys and just dump them in. I'm 100% going to miss a few. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That one's for me. Give that a stir. One last thing which I like to do is add some Japanese mayonnaise. This is QP mayo. You guys know the brand. And that just adds, on top of like some thickness to the sauce, it also adds just a little bit of tanginess. Because this thing's like, normal mayo is made from like full eggs. This is made from like only egg yolks, so. And boom, ramen a la Sumeto Media. Please, for the love of God, don't tell me that you share this with anyone, because they might not be able to handle the deliciousness. Or it might get back to my mom that this is how I actually eat 5 days out of the week. Either way, bye.
First, I have to make the broth. I'm using fried chicken, onions, hot dogs, and black pepper. You can't forget the vinegar, and especially not the water. Once you have everything in there, you gotta bring it to a boil, and then let it cook on the stove for a few hours. And now we have this delicious looking broth. Let's get this ramen boiling. I'm taking out 2 of the biggest American proteins, fried chicken and McDonald's burger. Now let's cut that chicken into nice neat slices. I'm only gonna use half of this hamburger patty. Now it looks like the ramen's done, so let's put it in a bowl with the broth. I'll just use the same pot to boil another hot dog. It's time to chop up this wiener. Now I have all the meat for the ramen, and I'm gonna put it in order. Fried chicken, hamburger patty, pickle, and hot dog. Let's put some beans on top for garnish and some crystal hot sauce for spice. Here is the finished product. The All-American Summer Picnic Ramen. With a hot dog, half a hamburger patty with a pickle, fried chicken, pinto beans, and some crystal hot sauce, and my own homemade broth. Now's the hard part. I want you to hear this. That's the sound of ramen I like. All right, here we go. I don't like this. You know, I can taste the hot dog in the broth. No matter what I do, there's this residual hot dog flavor. It hits me on the back of the tongue. So I taste like the fried chicken up front, and of course the hot sauce, but then the lingering flavor is like hot dog water. It's not good. Thanks for watching my 2,000 subscriber special. This is much different than my normal style of video, but you know, that's why it's a special. It's actually something that was shot a few months ago, so it's out of the archive for everyone to see. And I had a lot of fun working with Sumeto Media on this, but my next several videos are going to be going back to the standard video essay format, and my live stream has started. So if you want to listen to me go more in-depth on movies, then be sure to tune into those. And please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.